Okay, in this tuition video I'm going to show you how to create the stand for the phone box. It's made in a slightly different way. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to File, New, and this time instead of a standard you want to create sheet metal because that's what we are using. Make sure metric is selected and then that, and then create. Okay, you can see that there's slight differences with sheet metal at the top and face instead of extrude. The first thing you want to do is select sheet metal defaults and change this thickness by deselect that and put in 1.1 millimeter. So just 1.0 millimeters there and apply, and that's the thickness of our metal that we're using. Then start a 2D sketch and then select a work plane and select a rectangle, and a piece of metal is going to be 70 millimeters tab by 240 millimeters, and then zoom all and you can see that there. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to put in some construction lines. So hit the construction button here and then select the line tool, and I want two lines going down, one here, they've got to be vertical, so check the angles to make sure that they're vertical, one line over here like that, and then one line going from the middle. If you make sure it's in the middle, you can see how it just gets slightly bigger dot there when it's actually in the middle of that line, so that's how I know it's in the middle. And then check the angles to make sure that is completely horizontal. Dimension that then. This end needs to be from this line to here, that needs to be 70 millimeters, and from this line to the end needs to be 60 millimeters. You then want to start drawing your holes, so you want to select your circle tool, take off construction, and we want a 10 millimeter hole here. We're just going to put them in. 10 millimeter hole on this central line here, like that, and a 4 millimeter hole here, okay, just like that, okay, and then you want to dimension these. So from this line to here, to the center of that circle, that should be 36, and from this line to here, I've drawn that in slightly the wrong place, it should actually be 30, because that's going to move over, alright. And then from this line to here to the center of the circle, that should be 15, and we'll just do that on here as well, just here, just to make sure that is also 15. So they're both 15 millimeters away from this edge, and this one's 36 away from this line, and it is 30 millimeters away from that line. They're all dimensioned against this line because that's going to be our bend line, and that's the important part. The last dimension is this line to the center of this circle, and that should be 10. Okay, then I want you to use the mirror button here, and then with this highlighted, you want to select the two circles that you want to mirror, and then highlight the mirror line button, and then select this line here. Did it do it? There, and apply, and you can see, there we go, that's put those two buttons in there, like that. Okay, get rid of that, and then finish your sketch, zoom all so you can see it all, and then click on the face button and select that area there. That now applies a 1 millimeter thick sheet metal to your piece of work. The next thing that I want you to do is go back and redraw those lines that you had, those construction lines, but just draw them as normal lines this time. So just a line from here down to the bottom, okay, like that, escape, and then click the line tool again, and then it's roughly here down to the bottom, and you can see that's not quite on, it's kind of, there we go, it needs to be exact. Alright, both those lines are now perfect, so dimension from there to there, and that should be 70 millimeters, and then from this edge to this edge, and that should be 60 millimeters. I probably only need to do one actually, because I think you have to redo them every time you do a bend. Okay, so we want to now do these bends that we're talking about here. So we're going to look at bending this around that line there, and you can see, well, we call it fold. Okay, so if I double click that one from the 70, you can see that's 105 millimeter bend around. Okay, so we're going to just come around and we're going to use this fold button here, and it's first thing it asks us to do is select the bend line. So there we go. Okay, then it wants us to know which direction we want to do, and let's just turn this around a bit so we can see which way it's kind of looking at going. And we can kind of play around a bit with this until we think we've got it correct. Okay, so there we go. I've clicked these until I feel like it's going backwards around that way, and I'm going to change this to 105 and apply. You can see that's bent that around there. Now I can't see this line anymore, which is a bit annoying, so I'm going to have to redraw that 2D sketch on here, zoom out and zoom in until you can kind of put the line in properly. So that now wants to click on there, cross like that, make sure you dimension that from that edge down to here at, I think it was 60, finish your sketch like that. Now I can see that line. I'm just going to check what the dimension was on here. So the second fold line was 150, so we can now just go to fold, select our line, kind of change these until they feel like they're going the right way, and change that to 150 and apply. Okay, there you go. The last thing that we want to do is, you might like to just fillet some of those hard edges because it is metal. So we'll just go and see if we've got a fillet button. I'm sure there is one somewhere around here. Maybe you can find it and you can tell me. Oh, let's go to 3D model. There's a 3D model button. Fantastic. So there should be now a fillet button there. Make sure that's 2mm, and you can just zoom in on these edges just there. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. And then just here. Good. And that's what you would tend to do, just to round those edges and make them feel a little bit better. Okay. And then lastly, if you want to try and assign a front to this, it can be quite hard because we've got no edge here on the front to select. But what we do have is a bottom edge. So if we just come up to here and we select this face, you can use this button to then select that face, okay, like that. And then I can right click on this and I can set current view as top. Now I can rotate that around to there, and I can go set current view as front. Now that's perfectly set to be my front, and then I can right click on the home once I've got it all in line and set current view to view, and then make sure you save your work.